What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Welcome to my fourth and final installment of my 100,000 subscriber State of the Collection series. This has been a blast to film, a little bit overwhelming, but a whole lot of fun. Today we're going to be looking at every single chronograph I own, one of which I think I'm going to get a ton of questions about, so I'm excited for you guys to see that. Let's see who can guess which one I'm talking about. But yeah, this is, an interesting complication. I think a lot of people are familiar with it. A lot of people think it's kind of useless. I think it's fun, and now that I've been kind of locked down inside, I've been timing random things like, well, pretty much how long it takes for me to microwave some food. So see, guys, they are useful. You never know. But seriously, all jokes aside, thank you so much for all the support I've been getting. It sounds like you guys are having a lot of fun with this series, but this is it. This is all the watches I own as of April 2020. We're almost in May, and who knows what the future holds. I'm gonna still buy a bunch of watches, so don't worry. The collection is not stopping here. But real quick, before we talk about chronographs, maybe consider watching an earlier episode I made titled Everything You Need to Know About Chronographs. But if you've already seen that and you're ready to watch this one, then hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment the word chrono in the comment section, and let's talk some freaking chronographs. It's 2:30 p.m. Let's get down to business. Alright guys, so the first chronograph we can just get right out of the way is a watch that you saw in the State of the Collection Part 1 Field Watch Edition, because this is my Seiko Solar Chronograph Compass SSC 081 Field Watch, but of course does have that beautiful chronograph complication. And my favorite part about this watch is when you stop the chronograph and you reset it, it does that beautiful sweep. But yeah, we don't need to spend too much time with this watch because we spoke about it in depth on the Field Watch installment. So click up here to see Part 1 Field Watches. All right, moving on to what I think is probably the most beautiful chronograph I own, my Certina DS2 Chronolympic. Also probably one of the rarest watches I own. You do not see these in the wild very often, and when you see one complete with the original bracelet like this, they fetch very, very high prices. You look at it, cushion case, that domed crystal, it is so vintage, sporty. Yeah, this is like the archetype of a vintage racing chronograph. This is one tough cookie, guys. So the story behind this watch is that in the early 1970s, Certina actually sponsored an expeditionary team from Japan to go climb Mount Everest, and they did so wearing these exact watches. Crazy, crazy, crazy that they survived, not only the people, but also the watch. So yeah, this is a tough, I guess, climbing watch? I mean, is this a field watch? It did go to Mount Everest. I'm just gonna say it's a racing chronograph. Such a cool watch, powered by a Valjoux hand wind movement. Of course, you got that bright red chronograph hand that's kind of covering that applied Certina logo. Just a beautiful watch, and you're getting all of that gorgeous domed crystal distortion. I'm a vintage collector, and it's because of things like this. I love the looks of that crystal distortion. Signed crown, again, original bracelet, very, very comfortable, old school Certina logo, but of course, you can see the Certina turtle on the case back. This is one of my favorite watches in my collection, and a watch I will never ever sell because this was given to me by my dad, and this is a watch that was given to him when he finished school, so there's definite sentimental value. So far in the State of the Collection, you've seen my dad's watch, you've seen my dad's watch, and you've seen my great-grandfather's watch. So 3 generations of wristwatches, and that's an example of why I love collecting watches just that much more. The sentimental value, the stories, the people that wore them. But this specifically, this chronograph, my Certina DS2 Chronolympic, very, very important to me because every time I wear it, reminds me of my dad. All right, moving on to another very sporty racing chronograph in my collection, my Seiko 6139 automatic chronograph. People call this a Pogue, people call it a speed timer, whatever you want to call it. This is an all original silver dial variant. Now I stipulate all original silver dial because I'm very proud of that. This actually took me years to find, and special thanks to one of my viewers who actually purchased this from, and just some added provenance there. It was told to me that this is one of Spencer Klein's watches. So for those of you who are kind of active in the watch collecting, vintage watchmaking world, Spencer Klein does a lot of really good work, especially with Seikos. And what's funny is after I purchased this watch, I posted some pictures of it on Instagram, and Spencer Klein actually commented under the picture and was like, hey, I'm pretty sure that's one of my watches. So yeah, some added history, some added provenance. Speaking of history, Seiko 6139 is very, very important, even if you're not a Seiko fanboy like me. Orologically speaking, this is incredibly significant because this is the first production automatic chronograph. Yes, it did beat the Zenith El Primero, it beat the Swiss watchmakers, and it pissed a lot of people off. Just a crazy watch, crazy amounts of history here. Again, the silver dial I think just pops a lot better than even that yellow dial or the dark dial. The silver, just beautiful how it plays with the Pepsi bezel. Of course, you're getting an internal rotating bezel as well that I don't really use. You'll notice the chronograph hand is already running. That's right. Most watchmakers will tell you that it's healthier for this watch to kind of just treat the chronograph hand as a second hand. That doesn't mean you can't stop it and start it if you need to time something. But you know, day to day, it's just better for this movement to leave it running. Again, just treat it like a second hand. But beautiful watch on a beautiful man cave leather rally strap. Look at that. Very, very cool, very sporty. This is the watch I wear when I'm carving the canyons in my STI. Just really cool watch. Day date complication. It says water resistance, you know, 70 meters, but I'm not going to be swimming in this watch anytime soon. Just a really cool piece of orological history. And for a Seiko fanboy like myself, very important to have in my collection. And it took me a while to get. Next up, the very controversial 21 Zwan Seagull 1963. That's right, this is the 21 jewel variant. This is actually not running right now. Let's go ahead and give this a few winds. ST19 or ST21 movement. Of course, that is essentially a clone of the Venus 175. Now, what's interesting about this watch is they didn't copy anyone. Okay, I know China gets a bad rap for counterfeiting, for creating replicas and fakes, but the lineage with this watch, at least the story goes, Seagull purchased the machinery from Venus. So all the machines that were making the Venus 175 movements, Seagull purchased those, and so they have the rights to actually build this movement, the ST19 and the ST21. A whole lot of bang per buck with this watch. You know, if you're looking to get into your first mechanical chronograph, this is a pretty impressive one to start with, honestly. You won't break the bank. You can get these, you know, around $300 in the 200s, sometimes in the 300s, depending on what you want to get. And yeah, really cool watch. I've made a bunch of episodes. Click here to see the most recent episode I made about this watch. Very controversial episode talking about everything I wish I knew before buying a Chinese watch. But for me, I really like how the gold indexes pop against that champagne dial. And of course, the blue hands just glow. There's no lume on them, but they pick up the light and they just, you know, cut right through the dial there. Beautiful watch, really cool watch, and again, very easy way to get into your first mechanical chronograph. And because I'm going to get a ton of questions about the strap on this watch, this is a Hadley Roma nylon leather strap, kind of plays off the military look here. You can find this at the Time Teller Amazon store, link in the description below to this strap. You can find them in a bunch of different sizes, but I really like how it looks on this watch, so yeah, really good purchase here. All right, so next up, I want to talk about my Omega Speedmaster Professional 25th Anniversary Edition. It's actually in service right now at TikTok Watch Repairs. They're taking care of it, making sure it's nice and healthy so that I can keep wearing it and keep making some content with it. But yeah, beautiful watch. Again, it is technically a limited edition, although right now they're not super hard to find. The 25th anniversary, celebrating the Apollo 11 mission to the moon. A bunch of really cool engravings. My favorite one is on the side of the case, kind of celebrating those years there. And yeah, just a beautiful watch. You know, matte dial. Mine has aged perfectly. It's got a Hesselite crystal that I've polished up with a bit of polywatch ointment. If you want a true Speedmaster, these are the ones to get. You don't need to break the bank with some of these newer constant limited special editions. If you want one that's a little bit more special than just a base one, you can get one of these 25th anniversary editions, and again, you won't really be breaking the bank. Very comfortable watch, very sporty watch. It's not really as much of a racing chronograph as my Certina DS2 or my Seiko 6139, but again, this one did go to the moon on a spaceship, and there's not much, there aren't many things faster than a spaceship, so yeah, I guess you could consider it a racing chronograph as well. A race to the moon. Moving on to one of the most prolific chronographs ever, along with the Omega Speedmaster comes a Breitling Navitimer automatic movement, date complication. Actually, I just recently got this back from TikTok Watch Repair. They did a full service and the movement is nice and healthy. Pilot's slide rule, of course. People often say the dial is just simply too busy for them when it comes to the Breitlings, but I really like it, and again, I'm an avid collector, and I really wanted a Navitimer in my collection, especially when we're talking about watches that made history. Breitling just crushed it with this watch. Beautiful bracelet, nice clasp there, well worn. Let's see, we got some engravings on the case back. Just a beautiful watch, honestly. And when we're looking at a full, well-rounded watch collection, yeah, Omega Speedmaster, pretty cool, but you can't forget about the Breitling Navitimer. Come on. And last, but absolutely not least, one of the most uncommon watches I own, one of the most beautiful watches I own, and a watch that is sure to get a ton of questions. Guys, it's so funny. I made an episode on this watch. One of my very first episodes was about this watch, and like no one saw it. I don't know why, because this is such a special watch. This is my Ebel 1911 El Primero automatic chronograph. That's right, this has the prolific Zenith El Primero automatic chronograph movement. So people that don't realize what this watch is, they look at my collection, they're like, hey, how come, you know, you like the Omega Speedmaster, you like the Breitling Navitimer, you have a Seiko 6139, but you don't have an El Primero? Well, yeah, I do, but I happen to find it in the most beautiful package ever. A solid 18 karat yellow gold Ebel 1911. That's right, solid 18 karat yellow gold. Now, what's funny about this watch is Ebel is owned by Movado, okay? Movado actually had a relationship with Zenith in the past, but this watch, I believe, was made before Movado owned Ebel and after Movado had a relationship with Zenith. So this is kind of just a very coincidental happening here. I could be wrong, the times could overlap, but in my research it seems like everyone was kind of independent of one another and it just happened this way. Either way, it's beautiful and it's crazy and it's awesome that I have an El Primero in this gorgeous of a package. Again, this could have been showcased in the dress watch installment of the State of the Collection series, I suppose, but I kind of wanted to surprise you guys because I have a feeling a lot of you did not see my initial review of this watch. Beautiful, actually very hard to find factory strap. I got this watch replaced with a factory strap from Ebel, and it looks great. I probably wouldn't go through the hassle again of doing it, but just an absolutely gorgeous dress watch, dress chronograph, and again, automatic movement. A lot of resistance on those chronograph pushers, by the way. Every time I wear it, I'm surprised at the heft and then also the kind of robust build here. A little bit industrial with the screws coming out of the case there. Gorgeous watch, and yes, I get it. It has a 4 o'clock date window. I think it's gorgeous. I'm just gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide with this watch. Look at the indexes, guys. Look at the subdials, how they are outlined in gold. it's just a beautiful watch. It's just incredible. And this is going to be the final watch of this episode and the final watch of the series. So I really am, I don't know, I'm ecstatic that I was able to kind of gather all my watches and do this series for you guys. It was overwhelming for me. I don't know how you felt about watching it, but seeing all my watches in one place, man, it brings back memories, kind of a rush of memories. It was fun to spend back-to-back time with my collection because I remember why I bought these watches. I remember how I felt about them, and it was fun to do it on camera and kind of go through the motions with you. So I hope you enjoyed learning about my collection. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my watches, all of my watches that I currently own here in 2020. And yeah, I urge you to kind of find your passion with your collection and look through the watches you have and try to kind of remember why you fell in love with these watches that you own and build some memories with them, yeah? Because that's what I'm doing, and I'm just very blessed that I can kind of capture some more of these memories on film with you guys. So thank you so much. Gotta finish off the episode with this very kind of uncommon, wonky piece that a lot of you haven't seen, and yeah, I figured that'd be a great send-off for my 2020 State of the Collection 100,000 subscriber celebration. So guys, thank you for joining me. I know these were kind of long episodes, and it was like a 4 installment series. I'm gonna make a playlist with all these episodes. Also, we're going to do a bit of a director's cut, so stay tuned. It's gonna be one enormously long episode, so if you wanna grab a snack, you wanna grab a few snacks, sit down and watch my entire collection from start to finish, you can do that. We're gonna release that in the coming weeks. And I'm so sorry, my hands are like mangled. I've been washing them religiously. I've been working out, jumping around, and yeah, just tearing them up, doing these kind of unconventional workouts because there's no weight room and there's no jujitsu gym. I'm having to improvise. People are like worried about what I'm going through because my hands are all torn up. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for enjoying my content. I love you guys. And let me know, which watches did you enjoy? Which watches would you like to see more of? I'm sure a lot of people are going to request another review on this piece. And let me know which watches you have in your collection that are similar to mine. All right, I'll see you in the comment section. And there you have it, guys. Every single watch I own. Thank you so much for joining me on this crazy journey that is my YouTube channel, and specifically the State of the Collection series. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for all the support. I couldn't have done any of this without you. And let's see where my collection goes, right? Where it's not gonna stop here, and bring you along with me. So please check out all the links in the description. There's a bunch of Amazon affiliate links with some really cool watch related gear. Check out www.thetimetellershop.com. That is the #1 place to buy affordable vintage luxury watches, handpicked by me, serviced with a 1-year warranty. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with everyone you know. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and this was my State of the Collection. Always remember, I didn't invent time, I just tell it.